This case is full of our reaction figures. Reaction stands for retro action figures. The concept here is we took starting with the original unproduced Kenner Alien figures from the 1970s, we took a Star Wars action figure style approach, the golden age of action figures we like to call it, and applied that 3 3/4 action, 5 points of articulation action figure look to a variety of licenses that never had that action figure treatment. Really just because we loved collecting that action figure from when we were young and wanted to see Masters of the Universe, Toxic Avenger, Mazinger Z and his friends and enemies there, Planet of the Apes. We wanted to see these figures exist in that world. They didn't exist, so we made them ourselves. All of these figures are sculpted for us by sculptors who actually worked for Kenner during the 70s and 80s and worked on the original line that inspired this one. So we were able to make sure that every detail is authentic to what it would have been if they existed in that time. In addition to these guys, we have Robotech coming out here soon. We already have Street Fighter 2 available in this format as well. Hellboy, of course, Mike Mignola's hit comic book. And then down here we have The Worst Again, which is our original creation, a line of all villains, the worst villains out there, the worst villains we could imagine, which is now in development to become an animated TV show with our friends at Stupid Buddy Studios, who bring you Super Mansion, Robot Chicken, and so on. Over here, we're also showing off some early concepts on the Reanimated series, which is an extension of our Reaction series. The idea behind this line is to take that old action figure aesthetic and apply it to a more animated cartoon feeling. So very simple, very sleek, and very sort of minimal in its presentation, but still very well thought out and designed, and almost elegant simplicity. And we're launching that with Alien and showing a bit of a proof of concept here on a line that we're still in development on. With the supersized line, that's basically a scaled up action figure line, and we're launching that now with Alien. Our intent, once Alien does well, is to then extend that line on into other properties and characters as well. So assuming people are into it, we would love to make the Kanan spacesuit in that scale, the Predator in that scale, and so on. So there's I don't have anything to show you right now today, unfortunately, but we do intend to continue with that line as well. The last case we're going to look at here today is our Masters of the Universe case. With this, we're doing a few different formats here. We looked at the muscle already. Here on the top shelf, we're looking at the Classics line that was begun by Mattel and the Four Horsemen, which we've picked up and are now continuing with the Four Horsemen still driving the sculpture and design of the line. Here are the first 4 figures in our Classics wave for 2017, and then on the right here is our Filmation Club Grayskull line, first 4 figures. Left to right, we've got Hawk, Quake, Lodar, Fangor. Those are in the Classic style. And then here in the Filmation is Hordak, Man-at-Arms, Triclops, and Tila. And then on either side, we're sort of teasing our PowerCon exclusives, which will come out in September exclusively at PowerCon. 2 3-packs, 1 mini comics, 1 assortment of different villains and heroes that will be shown at, that will be available at PowerCon. The next line we're launching with Masters of the Universe is the Vintage line, clearly inspired by the original line of Masters of the Universe from the 1980s. Previously, we've created the 3 Tears as part of our San Diego Comic-Con debut 3 Tears animated episode, which is now available on iTunes. And beyond that, we're extending that into a new line of Filmation-inspired vintage He-Man action figures. The first wave, we have Hordak, He-Man, and Skeletor, as well as She-Ra, which has never been created in this style, the original Tila being more of a rooted hair, doll style of figure. This is taking that into more of an action figure format, similar to a Tila or an Evil Lyn from that original line. In addition to the first wave of Filmation-inspired vintage figures, we will also be sort of finishing a piece of history in creating Hero and Eldor, faithfully down to the last detail of what was prototyped back in the 80s but was never made, so that collectors and fans will finally be able to get those last two figures that were shown in the 80s but never came to fruition. And then down below we have, of course, the Masters of the Universe reaction figures, which have been out for some time. We have the third wave coming out a little bit later this year. And then next to that we have some Japanese soft vinyl Masters of the Universe figures, which are sort of a what-if time machine. What if Masters of the Universe had come out in the 1980s in Japan as opposed to the United States? What might those toys have looked like? And so, along with our friends at Gargamel, we've reimagined what that might have been. So they come packaged in a box with Japanese text, created in that artisanal craft toy style. As of now, we don't have any hard plans. The Filmation Ghostbusters line is pretty interesting. I really like those old designs. Whether we end up going down that road or not at some point, I can't say. But for right now, this is the only Filmation we're working on actively. As of now, we don't have any hard plans to do weapons packs, but we're open to the idea. I remember buying, my folks getting me a weapons pack when I was a kid, and it was great to have different colored armor and swords and axes and whatnot, so it would be a lot of fun to do. If enough people would like it to happen, we'll certainly do it. With vehicles, playsets, all of that, we did a playset for our Alien Reaction line, and it was well received. There have been some vehicles in the Classics line, so it seems a natural extension to continue to play with that idea within the vintage Masters of the Universe revival line. So yeah, who knows what we'll see this time in 6 months or a year.